is Allison from Wonderlast.com. Do you need a little kick in the pants on this Monday morning? If you do, then you are tuning into the right episode, because today I'm going to be sharing how you can get and stay motivated in 7 steps. So let's talk about it, because sometimes as a business owner, or even just going through life, you're going to have those days where you do not feel like getting out of bed, you don't feel like starting what you need to do, you just don't feel like doing anything. Maybe you just want to hang around the house and sit on the couch and watch Netflix. But when you are, especially when you are a business owner and you are your own boss, it's really important to have tools in your belt for getting and staying motivated, because when you don't have someone over you being like, hey, you gotta show up for work today, you gotta clock in, you gotta do this. When you're just doing that yourself, it is really easy sometimes to just be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna give myself the day off because I don't feel motivated. I have been there, I have done that. Now, before I dive into talking about how you can get and stay motivated, I first want to point out that it is normal every now and then to not feel motivated, to have a day every now and then where you're like, you know what? I just don't feel motivated. That is completely normal. And if it's just happening every now and then, that is just an indicator, I think, that maybe you just need a day off. Maybe you need to take the afternoon off. Maybe you need a full day off, or even a couple days off. Sometimes you just need to recharge your body and your mind. So if it's only happening every now and then, to me, that's just like a, hey, I need the day off. Your body is just telling you to take the day off, or maybe to take a couple hours off early. Now, if you are feeling unmotivated, like consistently, we're talking weekly, maybe you find yourself feeling unmotivated every single week, or maybe you're not feeling motivated every couple of days, or even worse, daily, then that is where it's important to have some tools in your creative tool belt to get and stay motivated. That is when you need a good old kick in the pants. Now, a little side note, my cat just climbed on my desk and he is about to knock over my microphone. So let me just move him. Real world problems. Okay. Sorry if you heard like rumbling around. You can blame my cat, Mr. Purry, for that, because he apparently wanted to say hello. Okay. So let's talk about getting and staying motivated. I'm going to go through 7 steps, starting with step number 1, and that is to focus on one day at a time. It is so overwhelming when you begin to look too far ahead. Now, I think it's really important to have a plan in place for like what you are going to be working on in the weeks and months ahead, which we're going to talk about in a second. But once you have that plan in place, focus on one day at a time. If you start thinking about, okay, what do I got to do today? Oh, but then what do I need to do this week? And then, oh crap, what do I need to do next week? And holy, like, what do I have to get done this month? If you start going too far down the rabbit hole of thinking about what you need to get done, then you're going to feel not motivated, most likely. You're going to feel frazzled and overwhelmed. For the very occasional person, that might actually make you feel more motivated for like overthinking what you need to do. But for most of us, it's actually going to make you feel frazzled and overwhelmed. So the first step to getting and staying motivated is that once you have your plan in place for what you're going to focus on in your business, or heck, your life for the next few weeks or months, focus on one day at a time. Heck, focus on one part of the day at a time. If you have a big day that you need to do a lot of things on, focus on just the morning or just the first activity that you need to get done. So I've made it a point for myself, because I know me, if I look too far in advance in my schedule, I start getting maybe a little frazzled. And so I will only look at the day that I am currently working on. I won't even look at tomorrow until I have actually made it through that day. So that's a simple step. It sounds a little basic, but just focus on one day at a time. The next step to getting and staying motivated is to build in some type of daily self-care and body movement. Now, I sound like a broken record on this one. I have talked about it before on this podcast, so I'm not going to go really deep into this step. But if you are running on an empty tank, mentally and physically, then it's going to be really hard to stay motivated if you feel like crap. And the better that you feel, the better that your business will run. So check out episode number 9 specifically if you want to learn the specific ways of how I build in daily self-care and movement into my week. So check out episode 9, but you got to make this a habit. You got to make it a priority to build it in daily, because doing so is going to make you feel better. And that when you feel good, it's going to be easier to feel motivated, versus if you feel tired and worn out and frazzled and like crap, then it's going to be really hard to feel motivated. So check out episode number 9. For example, I woke up this morning and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't feel very motivated to work this morning because I was really tired. I traveled over the weekend. I went to St. Louis and it was great and it was fun. I visited my grandma, who is turning 100 this year, by the way, which is amazing. I hope I make it to 100. But I woke up this morning and I didn't want to get out of bed. I wasn't feeling very motivated because I was super, super tired. So making sure that you are rested and taking care of yourself is so important. However, I did end up getting motivated this morning despite being tired, because I did number 3, the number 3 step, which is being clear on your specific goals and why you have them in the first place, and then creating a plan for reaching them. So if you don't currently have specific goals for your business, or heck, even your life, along with why you want to reach those goals and a plan for getting there, you are going to lack clarity and you're going to not really have focus or direction. And I don't know about you, but if I don't know where I'm going or why, it's really hard to get motivated because you don't know what the heck to work on or what you're even doing. A lot of people go through life this way too. It's like people just kind of go through life on autopilot. They never really get clear on what they want, where they want to go, like what goals do they have, what do they want to achieve, and then they wonder why they feel kind of just blah every day. It's because they're just kind of showing up, going through the motions, going through on autopilot, and they're not really working towards anything. And so this is super, super important for your business. I've got goals, specific goals for this podcast. I've got specific goals for my business that I want to achieve this year. And then I'm also really clear on why I want to achieve those goals. And having crystal clarity on where you're going is really important for staying motivated. So for example, with this podcast, I have a goal, a specific goal of doing 2 episodes per week. And the reason why I want to do 2 episodes per week is, number 1, it's going to help my podcast grow, because iTunes specifically likes it when you upload consistently and often. So it's going to help my podcast grow by doing 2 episodes a week, but also it's going to help me help more people. And the reason why I started my business in the first place is because I want to help people. And knowing that by showing up and doing a podcast episode that I'm going to be hopefully helping someone, maybe inspiring them or getting them through something, that motivates me. So when I was lying in bed this morning feeling tired, what got me out of bed was thinking, you know what, I need to do a podcast episode. And that's also how I came up with this topic, by the way, because I want to help someone, and that motivates me like nothing else. So you've got to be clear on your goals. You got to be clear on why you have those goals. And then you need to be clear on the plan that you're going to follow in order to reach those goals. And by the way, if you want an extra kick in the pants for reaching your goals, make the reason why for those goals something beyond yourself, something beyond you. How will reaching your goals positively impact others? So for example, one of the reasons why I have a specific revenue goal for my business. So I got a specific goal, but then the reason why is largely because I have a certain amount of cats that I want to help this year. So I am a crazy cat lady. I love cats. I love to donate to these charities and pet hospitals in my area and like around the US. And so one of the reasons why I want to hit a specific revenue goal is because I have a goal of helping literally thousands of cats this year. So the reason why beyond that goal isn't just tied to myself, which by the way is totally okay, but it makes it that much more compelling when you are impacting others, when you tie your goal, you're hitting that goal to something that's going to impact others. Or for another example, one of the reasons why I want to build my dream home, which is another goal of mine, yes, of course, that is going to make me happy and I'm going to be very excited and it's going to benefit me directly. But a big reason why I have a goal of building a specific type of dream home is because I want to create positive experiences and connections with my friends and family. I know that when I have a space that I love, not only will that inspire me to do better work for my business, but I'm going to be able to bring in friends and family and host them and connect with them and create experiences. And that's really why I want to have the house. And so my goal of buying the house is tied to other people, how I can positively impact others and not just myself. I hope this is making sense. So you've got to have goals. You've got to have reasons behind why you want to hit those goals, preferably also reasons how they're going to impact other people. And then you got to create a plan for actually reaching them so that you have direction every single day, which is going to motivate the you-know-what out of you. So if you want more information on how I set my goals, how I plan out my year, all of that stuff, then check out my masterclass. I'll put it in the show notes below, but I have a free masterclass that goes into my process for doing this. And you can give it a watch at wonderlast.com/go. Again, wonderlast.com/grow if you want to learn more about my goal setting and planning process. And I will, again, link it below in the show notes. But once you are crystal clear on where you're going, why you're going there, and then you've got a plan for getting there, you're gonna feel so much more motivated versus waking up every morning, not really being clear on where you're going, not really being clear on what you need to do. Like, that is a recipe. When you lack clarity, that is one of the biggest, for me, biggest things that causes unmotivation is when you lack clarity. Is that even a word, unmotivation? I don't know. But for me, lack of clarity equals not being motivated. The fourth step to getting and staying motivated is to create a vision board. So you probably know what a vision board is. It's essentially a board that has visuals, pictures, maybe sometimes even words, and it essentially is to remind you of what you're working towards and why. And I have been a huge fan of vision boards for years. I have been doing them for years, and I speak from experience. They are an amazing motivator. I literally have a vision board right next to my desk. I've got a vision board as my desktop. I got my vision board as my iPhone wallpaper. But basically, once you do number 3, which we just talked about, you got clear on your goals and your plan and your why, then you want to create a vision board. And a vision board is basically, you can include photos that represent what your life and your business will look like once you've hit your goals. You can include specific material things that maybe you want to buy. There's no shame in that. You can include your why. So why is it important for you to reach this goal? Like, for example, on my vision board, I have a photo of a stray cat because, as I mentioned, one of my whys for hitting my revenue goal is that I want to help as many cats as possible. So I've got like a stray cat on my vision board. I also have my family on my vision board because that's why I want my house. So include your why on your vision board. Include the experiences that you want to have. So if there are certain experiences that you want to have, maybe if you hit one of your goals, that will allow you to have a particular experience. Include those on your vision board. So for example, on my vision board right now, I have a photo of Bali because I want to go to Bali next year. So that's like one of my whys. Like, why do I want to hit these particular goals? I want to have the experience of traveling. I want to go to Bali. So that's on my vision board. But putting them all together in a collage, and then, super important, you're putting it somewhere where you're going to see it every day, preferably in multiple places. So like I just said, I have a tangible vision board right next to my computer. It's like the first thing I see every day. I see it all throughout the day as I'm working. I also have my vision board set as my desktop on my computer, and it's also the wallpaper on my phone. So I'm constantly reminded of it all day long. So I highly recommend a vision board for getting and staying motivated. On the days where you're tempted not to work and you're walking by and you see your vision board, I guarantee you it's going to give you a little bit of a kick in the pants once you're reminded of what you're working towards and why. The next step to getting motivated and staying motivated, step number 5, is having a dedicated workspace that inspires you. I love my little workspace corner. I have worked hard to make sure that it looks nice, at least to me, that it's clean, that it's organized, because having a workspace that looks good really motivates me to work because I want to work in it. If you don't have a dedicated workspace, or if your workspace is a mess, if it's cluttered, if it doesn't inspire you, then you're probably not going to feel very motivated to want to work in it. So having a dedicated workspace, even if it is the corner of a room, maybe you clear out a closet and make like a little hidden workspace in there, do what you got to do, but having just a little corner of wherever you live dedicate it as your workspace is a huge motivator. And not only do you want it to be clean and organized, because unless you are like the 1 in a billion where a mess actually like motivates you, like clean and organized, but taking the time to decorate it in a way that inspires you, you're gonna want to work there. When I first made over my workspace and I got a new desk and I put up new artwork and I got a bunch of cute office supplies, I was genuinely super excited to work in it. I wanted to sit down. I felt that kick in the pants. It motivated me because I wanted to spend time in that space. So this one's really important and it's really fun. It's a good excuse to go out, maybe buy something new from IKEA, or maybe order a new print off of Etsy, or go to your favorite store, maybe Target, get a few things from the dollar section, by the way. They always have a ton of really cute office supplies. But make over whatever area you have to work with, whatever, even if it's teeny, teeny, tiny, and make it somewhere that inspires you to work, because that is going to help motivate you every single day versus not really having anywhere to work and it's not really, it's less than inspiring. So it's going to be, if it's less than inspiring, it's not going to be very motivating. The sixth step to getting and staying motivated is to track your progress. Nothing is motivating quite like seeing the difference that you showing up is actually making. And so I think tracking your progress is so important, because it's so easy to always be completely focused on what's ahead and what you still have to do and everything that you haven't accomplished, that it's really easy to ignore, hey, all the progress that you've actually made. So I think it is so important and also really motivating to track the progress that you've made. So to see that your work is paying off. So like for me, I bullet journal right now. I'm obsessed with bullet journaling. So I have a spread in my bullet journal for tracking my goals. So I've got clear on my goals, like the specific goals I have for my life and also my business. But then I also have a page where I've literally created like these, it's hard to explain, like I literally have bars created for each goal. They're kind of like little, I'm really bad at descriptive words, but they're basically bars for each goal, and then I fill up the bar as I like get closer and closer and closer to that goal. So I have like along the bar, it's kind of like a temperature thermometer. That's what I'm looking for. Is this even making sense? But basically I have my main goal at the top, and then I have little benchmarks along that little doodle thermometer, and I start filling it up as I make progress. So for me, it is super rewarding and satisfying to like color in the little bar as I'm making progress, and I can actually see myself making progress. But it could be also something as simple as writing down, like let's say one of your goals is to reach 1,000 followers on Instagram. So you've got that specific goal. You could just simply write down like 1,000 followers and then break it up into little benchmarks. Maybe break it up into increments of 100. So every time you get 100 new followers, you're like coloring it in or tracking it in or whatever floats your boat. But find a way to track your goals. You could write it down on a whiteboard if you have a whiteboard in your office area. Write it on a piece of paper that you have on your wall. Put it in your journal, in your planner. If you have the planner that I created, by the way, there is a specific section for tracking your goals. So if you didn't know, I have tangible planners on my site that I designed a few years ago. They're actually the first product. They're the first thing that I ever created and sold. They're still available on my website. And there's a section at the end of every single month for tracking your specific goals, because it is so powerful for staying motivated. So whatever way that you choose, find a way monthly or maybe even weekly to track your goals. I personally like to track my goals monthly, but depending on the goal, it might be beneficial to just like track it weekly. And that is a huge kick in the pants once you see that your work is paying off. And then the seventh step to getting and staying motivated is to celebrate your wins and to reward yourself weekly. Why do you want to celebrate your wins? Because your brain tends to focus on the negative. At least most brains tend to focus on the negative. And remember, you might have heard that quote, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you want more progress and if you want more positive results, then focus on the positive, focus on your progress. And it's also really rewarding to your brain when you're rewarding it every single weekend. It's gonna wanna keep doing, your subconscious is gonna wanna keep doing more of what it needs to do to achieve the goals, to keep getting rewarded. And so this is something that I like to do every single Friday. I will sit down and I will look at everything that I've done that week, and I will do something to celebrate. So a few ways to celebrate. Number one, a great way to celebrate is to have an accountability buddy. And actually, I recommend this for staying motivated. Just in and of itself, having an accountability is a marvelous way to stay motivated. It's essentially someone that is there for you. You have told them your goals, you have told them what you're going to work on that week, and then you check in with them. So to celebrate your wins, have a day, get an accountability buddy, and then maybe at the end of every week, you tell them what you did, you share your wins. If they're also doing kind of like if you're both entrepreneurs, then you can both share your wins. Just take a few minutes to celebrate each other's success. It's super powerful. Last year when I was doing business coaching, every single week we did business wins, where the first thing that we would do is we would all sign on and we would all share our wins from the week. And it was so exciting and lovely to hear about what other people were doing, and also to take a second to acknowledge yourself. Also, another way to celebrate your wins is to write down a list of ways that you will reward yourself once you hit your goals or make progress or whatever. So in my bullet journal, I have a whole list of things that I'm gonna do to celebrate every single week once I hit once I make the progress. So it can be really anything that makes you feel good. It doesn't have to involve money. So, for example, maybe you're going to reward yourself with a bubble bath, or maybe you're going to reward yourself by taking, 30 minutes to read your favorite book. So it can be something that's not necessarily money, but it certainly can if you want it to be. Whatever is going to give you a kick in the pants, whatever is going to make you happy and excited, make a list of things to do to celebrate, and do that weekly. Or you could even have a 5-minute dance party. Sometimes I will do this where at the end of the day on Friday, I'll look at what I did, I will acknowledge my wins, and I will literally turn on music and do a little dance party in my living room and just celebrate myself. And you know what? That motivates me to keep going the next week. If you are constantly looking forward and you're never looking backward at all the progress that you've made, all the wins that you have, if you're always focusing on what you still need to do, you're gonna start burning out really fast. So let's do a quickie recap of how to get and stay motivated. Number one is to focus on one day at a time. Number two is to build in daily body movement and self-care. You cannot feel motivated when your tank is on empty. Step number three is to be clear on your specific goals and why you have them, and then create a plan for getting there. Step number four is to create a vision board and put it in multiple places by your desk. Have it on your phone as the wallpaper, have it on your desktop as the wallpaper, and put your what and your why on your vision board. Step number five is to create a dedicated workspace that actually inspires you. Create a little corner wherever you have that is going to make you feel really excited to work there because it just looks so nice and you want to sit down and work in it. Step number six is to track your progress, whether you do it in a journal, a planner, on your whiteboard. Do something to track your progress. Get clear on those goals, and then create a little tracker for each and every goal that you can hit the milestones on. And then number seven is to celebrate your wins and to reward yourself every single week, whether that is with an accountability buddy, whether you pull something from your list. If you make a list of rewards, do something and make it a weekly habit. Literally, like I said, this is part of my Friday routine, is at the end of the day, I'm going to celebrate my wins. And it's just something that I do every single Friday. So it is time to take action. I have 2 action steps that I want you to take, and you can do them in 10 minutes or less. The first step is to choose one thing to implement from this list of 7 steps that we just talked about. So if you still choose one thing and then schedule yourself to implement it this week. So maybe you're going to make a vision board. So sit down and block out a chunk in your calendar of when you're going to sit down and make your vision board this week. Or maybe you're going to get really clear on your goals and you're going to create a plan for getting there. Maybe you're going to come up with a plan for implementing some self-care and daily body movement. But sit down and spend just a couple minutes. Literally pick one thing. You can choose more, obviously, but I don't want to overwhelm you. So just sit down, commit to one thing that you're going to implement this week. And then step number 2 If you do want to learn more about my planning process for goal setting, getting clear on your goals, creating a plan to reach those goals, which is a huge motivator because it's going to give you so much clarity and direction, then check out the free masterclass I mentioned. You can go to wonderlast.com/go. Again, it's wonderlast.com/go. It'll take you 2 seconds to sign up. And that will be helpful as well. But I really want to see you implementing something from this list this week. And if you can gradually add them all in, the more you do, the better. But this is literally the tool belt of things that I pull from to stay motivated. And sometimes when, like I said this morning, when I woke up feeling tired and I didn't feel like working, then I was able to pull from the number 3, the goals and knowing my why. And that's what got me out of bed this morning, knowing that I had goals for this podcast, knowing that I want to show up and help people as part of, like, that's just my why. It makes me so happy to know that I'm helping people. That's what got me out of bed this morning. And was I going to help people by laying in bed? No, no one was going to get any sort of help or inspiration if I had just stayed in bed all morning. So these are all so important, powerful. Add them all in, and let me know which one you're going to add. Tag me, comment on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Let me know. I would love to know what you think. And of course, if you have any other things that you do to stay motivated or to give yourself a kick in the pants, let me know. I would love to hear about it. Comment, DM, whatever. There's so many like methods to reach people on social media nowadays. I wish I could just say one, but there's like 10 different ways. So whatever, just share with me how you like to stay motivated. I hope you found this episode helpful. I hope it helped to give you a kick in the pants on this Monday afternoon or whatever day you end up watching this on if you're watching it later. But I hope you found it helpful. These are literally all the things that I do, and I know that they help me. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And I will connect with you in the next episode. La la la. That's it for today. Now I've got to shut up.